The first time my boss told me she was tired of waiting for me, we were alone in an elevator, and my heart was beating so hard I thought the walls could hear it. The crazy part is, it all started in the break room, with the smell of burnt coffee and carpet cleaner in the air, not romance. I walked in with mud still drying on my work boots from the construction site. The office guys hated that. This place was a glass tower in Denver, all polished floors and fake smiles. I was the outside guy, the consultant, the one who still got dirt under his nails. Simmons was leaning against the counter, like he owned the building. Shiny shoes, perfect hair, fake smile. He rolled a poker chip across his fingers like he was some kind of movie villain instead of a project director. There was a folded wad of cash on the table in front of him. $500. The junior project manager and one of his superintendents were laughing like it was game night. "Easton," Simmons said, saying my name like a challenge. "Tell me you're not too proud to make easy money." "I'm too busy," I said. "I went to pour myself some coffee from the old pot. It smelled burnt, but it was something to do while I decided if I was going to walk away." "Busy doing what?" he asked. "Planting shrubs?" The room snickered. They loved that I did environmental consulting and drainage design. To them, I was the tree guy, the dirt guy, not the one who saved their projects from getting shut down by inspectors. I did not answer. I took a slow sip and let the silence hang. Guys like Simmons could not stand silence. They needed to be in control every second. He tapped the poker chip against the table. "Here's the bet," he said. "You ask Clara Voss out." The room went quiet in an instant. Clara was not just my boss. She was the vice president of development. Emerald Ridge, the big mountain resort, was her baby. She did not flirt. She did not gossip. She walked through the office like a storm in a blazer, and people moved out of her way. Everyone knew she did not date anyone from the company. "She'll destroy you," the junior PM said, laughing, but a little nervous. "She will terminate him," Simmons said, smiling. "She does not date, she just ends things." I set the coffee cup down. "No," I said. Simmons' smile turned sharp. "Come on, you're not even a direct report. You're a vendor. No risk." No risk. As if your reputation was something you could throw in the wash and get back clean. He lifted his phone. I saw the red dot on the screen. A recording app was already running. "What's the catch?" the superintendent asked. "Just proof," Simmons said. "So no one says we made it up," he asks. She rejects. "We pay him to entertain us." My jaw locked. I took one step closer, enough that my muddy boots marked his clean tile. "Turn that off," I said. He shrugged like it was nothing. "Afraid you might actually succeed, Easton?" "If you are recording people without consent in this office, you are breaking company policy," I said. "Maybe state law too." "That is not a bet. That is a lawsuit." For half a second, his grin slipped, then he forced it back. "Big words from a guy who plants trees for a living," he said. "Just ask her out. Unless you're scared." Quote, I was not scared of Clara. I was scared of what men like Simmons did when they got bored. They liked to turn people into stories and then twist the ending. I walked out of the break room without taking his money. Clara's office was at the end of a glass corridor. Walking toward it always felt like walking through an aquarium. Everyone could see you. No sound really carried. Your footsteps just sank into the carpet. I wiped my boots on the mat twice before I knocked, even though I knew it would not help. Mud always traveled. "Come in," she said. Her office smelled like sandalwood and fresh paper. She was standing over a big rolled-out plan of Emerald Ridge, her dark blazer on like armor, hair pinned back, eyes sharp and gray. She did not look up when she spoke again. "Close the door." I did. My chest felt tight, and it had nothing to do with Simmons' bet. "Tell me Simmons did not send you," she said. "He did not," I said. "Good. Then we can talk like adults." She tapped the plans. "Emerald Ridge, North Slope, retaining wall and stormwater. The board thinks we are ready for permitting." Simmons told them drainage is locked. "It is not," I said. "I know." She still did not look away from the plans. "I need your professional opinion, not his optimism. If we fail the environmental audit, the board pulls funding. If we pass, Simmons gets credit and I get a resort." The way she said it was calm, like she would survive either way, but she would hate to see a liar win. "I will go up today," I said. "No," she said, already reaching for her coat. "We will go up now. I want to see it with my own eyes." I hesitated for half a second. Not because of the sight. Because of her. Because of the dare still echoing in the back of my mind. She lifted a hand. "Before you overthink this, I am not your manager. You are an external consultant. You can say no. If you want to keep this strictly professional, I will respect it." Her words were neat, businesslike, but her eyes stayed on mine a little too long. Something in my chest shifted into place. "I will drive," I said. 10 minutes later, we were walking down the same glass corridor together. She had a plain white coffee cup in her hand, black lid, no logo. 2 co-workers by the windows went extra quiet as we passed. They watched us in the reflection, instead of looking straight. Clara did not care. She handed me the cup, her eyes on mine. "For the drive," she said. "Take it or leave it." Our fingers brushed when I took it. The touch was quick but deliberate. "Thank you," I said. "You are welcome," she replied, and there was the smallest curve to her mouth, like a secret she was keeping even from herself. The elevator doors opened. We stepped inside. The smell of carpet and cold air wrapped around us. The doors closed, and for the first time all day, it was just us. No glass, no audience. I should have talked about soil and slope angles. I should have stayed on safe ground. Instead, Simmons' voice sat in my head, pushing on the sore spot I did not want to admit I had. "Clara," I said. She turned her head slightly. "Yes?" "Are you free tonight?" Her eyebrows lifted a little. She looked at me, not surprised, not angry, just very awake. "Is this about Emerald Ridge?" she asked. "No," I said. "This is about me. Off the clock. No pressure. If you say no, my work does not change. Your project does not change." The elevator was quiet. I could hear the soft hum of the building and my own pulse in my ears. She watched me for what felt like a long time. Then she smiled. Not soft, not cruel, just sure. "I am tired of waiting," she said. "What took you so long?" For a second, I thought I had heard her wrong. In that quiet elevator, with the soft buzz of the lights above us, my boss looked me straight in the eye and said she was tired of waiting. No laugh, no joke, just truth. My throat went dry. "You were waiting for me?" I asked. She tilted her head, like she was checking if I was worth the risk. "You are not the only one who sees what is in front of them," she said. "Dinner, tonight. If I still feel the same after we see that slope." The elevator doors opened into the parking garage like nothing important had happened. Cold air rushed in. She stepped out first. "Bring your notes," she added. "If we are doing this, we are doing both, the work and the rest." My heart was still pounding when I walked her to my truck. It was a dark gray pickup, still streaked with dried mud. She looked at the passenger door, then at me with a small smile. "Good," she said. "Real trucks, real slopes." She climbed in like she had done it 100 times and set her laptop bag at her feet. I started the engine, and the wipers squeaked across the glass. Before we pulled out, she looked over. "For the record," she said, "if I say no later, you still work for me as a consultant. No drama, no games." "And if you say yes?" I asked. Her mouth curved. "Then you understand that I do not do half measures." I nodded once. "I do not either." We drove out into gray sky and light rain. The city thinned to warehouses, then open land. For the first few miles, the cab was quiet. Only the sound of wipers and tires and my heartbeat in my ears. She held her coffee cup in both hands like it was a small shield. After about 10 minutes, she let out a long breath and kicked off her heels. She tucked her feet under herself on the seat like she was finally letting herself relax. "This truck smells like wet dirt," she said. "That is honest work you smell," I said. She smiled. "You really hate Simmons, do you not?" "I do not hate him," I said. "I hate what he does when people stop watching." Her eyes went to the windshield. "That makes 2 of us." She reached forward and turned the radio dial until soft jazz filled the space. Not romantic music, just calm. A sound that held the silence steady. By the time we reached Emerald Ridge, the light rain had turned heavy. The mountain looked like it was wrapped in a sheet of gray. The north slope was a long cut of raw earth, dark and slick, with machines parked like tired animals. We stepped out of the truck. The ground tried to steal my boots with every step. Her sleek black heels sank almost at once. She looked down, then up at me with a warning in her eyes. "Do not say anything," she said. I bit back my smile and opened the back door of the truck. I pulled out a spare pair of sight boots, older but clean enough. "You keep extras?" she asked. "I plan ahead," I said. "It is a flaw." She took the boots, steady, and swapped them out, rolling her pant legs up just a little. The VP of development standing in the mud, hair pinned back, blazer on, wearing my spare work boots. The sight did something to my chest. "Do I look ridiculous?" she asked. "You look like someone who belongs on her own site," I said. Her eyes softened for half a second. "Good answer." We walked the slope together. I checked the soil with my small penetrometer and a steel rod, pushing it into the ground. In some spots, the rod slid in too easily. I crouched. "Do you see this?" I asked. She crouched next to me, her blazer brushing my shoulder. "Tell me." "They backfilled too fast," I said. "No proper compaction in layers. When heavy rain hits, water will run under the surface, and this whole section can turn into soup." She took a handful of wet soil and rubbed it between her fingers. "Feels fine to me," she said. "Clay loam," I said, holding my own handful. "It holds its shape but still breaks on the edges. If it was sandy clay, it would smear more. Simmons does not know the difference. He just wants it to look clean on top." She gave me a sideways look. "Did you just compare his work to cheap makeup?" "Yes," I said. "I did." She let out a short laugh, real and surprised. The sound cut through the rain. It warmed something under my ribs. We moved to the planned drainage line. The trench there was shallow, lazy, like someone had drawn it for a pretty brochure instead of a real storm. "This will not hold a serious rain," I said. "Show me," she said. I grabbed a shovel and a trenching spade from the back of the truck. The ground pulled and fought me. Each cut of the spade felt like digging into heavy memory. "You seem to enjoy this," she said, arms crossed, watching. "I enjoy fixing what is wrong," I said. "That is different." She stepped closer and took the second shovel I had brought. "Then you are not doing it alone," she said. I blinked. "You do not have to. This is field work." "I am the VP of development," she said. "If my slope fails, it is my name on the sign. I dig." Mud splashed her blazer. Rain loosened a few strands of hair. She did not care. She worked hard. Breath getting short, cheeks flushing from effort, not flirting. I adjusted her grip on the shovel once, just a light touch on her wrist, then moved back, keeping the line clear between us. Safe. Respectful. After 20 minutes, we had a clean, deeper trench and a clear path for water. I set a small level on a line and checked the fall. "This is what it should look like," I said. She stood beside me, breathing steady again, watching the water track along the cut. "If my board could see me right now," she said, "they would have a heart attack." "If my crew could see me right now," I said, "they would finally stop calling me the gardener." She shook her head. "They call you that?" "Landscaping guy, tree guy, dirt guy, they think I just plant flowers." Her gaze turned serious. "I do not," she said quietly. Something in me went still. The rain, the mud, the cold air, her voice. It all settled into one clear point. She brushed mud from her sleeve and looked back at the slope. "Simmons lied," she said. "You did not." "He will make it your fault," I said. "If the board hears this from him first, he will spin it." She looked at me. "Then we get ahead of him." On the drive back down the mountain, the rain came harder. She hugged her laptop bag to her chest like a shield at first. Then she set it down and sat with her hands open on her knees. "Do you regret asking me about tonight?" she asked after a while. "No," I said. "You know this will not be simple," she said. "Nothing worth it ever is," I said. She turned her head toward me, studying my face. "You really do not do half measures, do you?" "No," I said. "Not in work. Not in anything." When we pulled into the parking garage again, the storm was still rumbling overhead. We stepped out and started toward the elevator. "Dinner," she said. "Do not cancel." "I will not," I said. We rode up in silence. This time it felt different. The air between us was charged but steady, like we had already stepped onto a path we both knew was dangerous and still chosen to walk it. She left on her floor to drop her things in her office. I kept going up one level to grab my laptop from the shared workspace. When I came back down, I saw Simmons standing outside Clara's glass office. He was too close to her door, smiling too wide at someone inside. When he noticed me, his smile shifted. "Easton," he said. "Heard you took our VP up to the site." "Must be cozy." "Just doing my job," I said. He stepped closer so only I could hear. His eyes flicked up to the corner where a small security camera sat. "Careful what you say around here," he murmured. "You never know who might be recording." My stomach went cold. "You are still running that app," I said. He spread his hands like he was innocent. "I am just protecting the company. You are a vendor. Vendors come and go." I pulled out my phone. His eyes narrowed. I sent one quick message to an IT friend who owed me a favor from another job. Possible unauthorized recording near VP office. Check logs. Save everything. I hit send and looked up at Simmons. "Receipts are a thing," I said. For the first time since I had known him, his smile did not look so secure. That night, we were supposed to meet for dinner. I had no idea yet how fast everything was about to explode. The day everything blew up started with a dress shirt I did not want to wear. That night there was a big gala for Emerald Ridge. Fancy hotel ballroom, board members, donors, speeches. Clara had to be there. She told me to meet her after, for real dinner, just us. I stood in my apartment, staring at the suit on my bed, and thinking about her, saying she was tired of waiting. At 7:11 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was a board email. All caps subject line, subject, VP Voss. Vendor conduct concern, audio attached. My chest went tight. I sat down hard on the edge of the bed and opened the message. There was a link to a shared file. An audio clip. I did not hit play. I did not have to. I knew what it was. Simmons. I could see his smile in my head and the red dot on his phone screen in the hallway. The way he had looked at the security camera. He had been planning this from the start. My phone started to ring. Clara. I stared at her name on the screen. I wanted to answer. I also knew if I heard her voice right then, I would drive straight to that hotel and walk in beside her like nothing was wrong. And if anyone saw us, it would make that audio sound worse, not better. I let the call go. My heart hurt in a way that felt physical. I took a deep breath and texted her instead. "Do not open the attachment. Please, meet me tomorrow. I will explain and bring proof." The dots appeared, then stopped. No reply came. I grabbed my keys. If Simmons had sent that file to the board, at the same time they were all dressed up and drinking champagne, he wanted maximum damage. He wanted them angry and off balance. He wanted them to look at Clara and see the story he had cut and pasted. The only thing I trusted when things were falling apart was work. Systems. Real dirt. And real weight. So I drove to Emerald Ridge in the pouring rain. When I reached the site, the sky was black, and the whole mountain felt on edge. Wind shook the trees. Rain hammered the truck. The ground was a mess of mud and standing water. I walked toward the north slope and felt the hair on my arm stand up even before I understood why. A crane was set up there. It was not supposed to be. I had left a note stopping any heavy work on that slope until it was fixed. Now a tall crane was lifting a prefab lodge module, a whole chunk of building, over the soft ground. The boom swung slow like a giant arm. The crane's support feet were pressed into the wet earth. One of them was sinking. I heard the operator over the radio. His voice cracked. "I am tipping. I am tipping." The boom shifted more. The whole machine leaned toward the cut slope. If it went over, it would crush anything in its path, maybe rip the hill out with it. I did not think. I ran. "Everyone get back from the crane," I shouted. "Now, clear the area." Workers turned and stared. Then, they saw the way the crane was tilting and ran. I sprinted to the control stand on the ground near the base. There was a locked cover over the emergency panel. I flipped it up. The superintendent grabbed my arm. "You cannot touch that. You are not on our crew." I pulled free. "If that crane falls, your operator dies," I said. "Move." I grabbed the radio. "Crane cab, this is Easton," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "Take your hands off the swing control. Hit the boom brake and hold it. Do not move the top at all." The operator was breathing hard into the mic. "I cannot. I am sliding." "Yes, you can," I said, firm. "Listen to my voice. Boom, brake, now." There was a second of nothing. Then, "Okay, brake on." The swinging slowed. The boom still shook, but it stopped drifting sideways. "Good," I said. "Now lower the load straight down, very slow, until it just touches the ground." I watched the heavy cabin module drop a foot, then another. The sinking outrigger dug deeper into the mud, but the pressure eased a little. "Excavator!" I shouted to the operator of the big machine parked nearby. "Bring your bucket to the side of that crane foot. Gently, use it to hold it up." The excavator moved in, bucket low. The metal touched the side of the crane's support pad and took some of the weight, like a hand bracing a table before it falls. The cabin load finally reached the ground with a heavy, wet thud. The boom settled. The crane still leaned, but it stopped moving. The operator spoke again on the radio, voice shaking. "I think it is holding." My hands began to shake now that it was over. Rain ran down my face, and I could not tell what was water and what was sweat. "You just saved that guy's life," one of the crew said, staring at me. "No," I said, breathing hard. "We saved each other. Now no one touches this crane until the slope is repaired." Headlights cut through the rain on the road above. Several dark SUVs rolled toward the site, tires splashing through puddles. The board. Of course. They stopped near the trailers. People in long coats and good shoes stepped out under umbrellas, holding folders above their heads. In front of them, all walked Clara. She was in a black blazer again and black boots this time, made for mud, not meetings. Her hair was damp. Her eyes were sharp and bright. Behind her, I saw the chairman of the board and 3 members, and I saw Simmons, dry and smiling, walking just a bit behind them like a man arriving at a show he had produced. "What a mess," Simmons said loudly, looking at the tilted crane, the mud, the workers. "Clara, I warned you this vendor was reckless." The word vendor hit like a slap. Clara did not even turn toward him. She walked straight up to me. Rain dripped from the edge of the trailer roof above us, making a curtain between us and the group for a second. "You did not come to the gala," she said. Her voice was low and tight. "I could not," I said. "He sent the recording." She studied my face. Her jaw tensed. "I heard it," she said. "We will deal with that in a minute. Right now, they want answers." The chairman walked up, looking tired, angry, and wet. "Explain," he said, gesturing at the crane and the torn ground. Clara stepped forward before I could speak. "Simmons overruled a stop work order," she said. "He placed a crane on a wet, unstable slope. Easton and I both warned him in writing that the ground was not ready." Simmons laughed, trying to sound relaxed. "We are behind schedule," he said. "She is being dramatic." Clara lifted her tablet from under her coat and tapped it. She held it out so the chairman could see. On the screen was security video from the site trailer. I saw Simmons pointing at a schedule, signing a field change form with his badge. The timestamp glowed in the corner. "He authorized it," Clara said, "on record." The chairman's eyes moved from the screen to Simmons. "And the recording?" he asked. I stepped up beside Clara. Simmons used an audio app on his phone to record near Clara's office without consent, I said. IT checked the logs. The app turned on in the VP hallway. A file was uploaded to a shared company drive. Then that file showed up in your email. Simons lifted his chin. "You cannot prove I edited anything," he said. "All you have is technical talk." Clara's voice cut through the rain. I can prove intent." She pulled out her phone and held it up this time. On the screen was a group chat. "Friday pool." I could read the lines even from where I stood. Simmons, "Get Easton to ask her. I want to watch her shut him down." Simmons, "I have audio, clean." Simmons, "If she falls for him, we pivot. If she does not, we roast him. Either way, I win." The board members shifted. The air between us felt heavy. "You gambled with my reputation and his job," Clara said. Her voice was calm, but every word had weight. Simmons turned red. "So you admit you are involved with a vendor," he said. "That is the real problem here." Clara turned to the chairman. Her shoulders were square. Her chin was high. 72 hours ago," she said, "I sent a disclosure email to HR and compliance. I told them I was considering a personal relationship with an external consultant on Emerald Ridge. I explained that he does not report to me. I do not sign his checks. I asked for guidance and boundaries." She tapped again and showed the chairman the message on her tablet. There was the email, time-stamped. Under it was the automatic reply from HR received. "Pending review." "I chose to be honest," she said, "before any of this happened." She looked at me then, just for a second, and her eyes softened. There was no fear in them, only decision. "Easton did not pressure me," she said, turning back to the board. "He told me the truth about the site when it was easier to stay quiet. Tonight he kept your crane operator alive. He is not my problem. He is my partner." The word hit me like a hand closing around mine in the dark. The chairman glanced from Clara to me, then to Simmons, then back to the crane. Rain kept falling. The crews stood still. The whole site held its breath, waiting to hear what would come next. The chairman looked at the crane, at the mud, at the workers, then at Simmons. His face was calm in that way that meant the decision was already made. "You put a crane on an unsafe slope after a written stop-work note," he said. "You recorded in an executive hallway. You sent a cut audio file to this board on the night of a company event. You turned people's lives into a bet." Simmons opened his mouth. "You cannot prove I sent the file from my phone," he said. The chairman did not even look at him. "IT already did," he said. "You are terminated. Effective now, security will escort you off the property." For a second, everything went quiet, even the rain. Simmons stared at him, then at Clara, then at me. There was shock on his face, but under it I saw something else. He hated that he had lost. That was all. "You will regret this," he said. "No," the chairman replied. "I regret that we did not see it sooner." 2 security guards stepped up beside Simmons. He pulled his arm back like he might fight them, then seemed to remember where he was and who was watching. He jerked away once, then let them walk him to the SUVs. As he passed me, he tried to catch my eye. Maybe he wanted me to feel guilty. I did not. I just felt tired. The board left soon after to go back to the city. The site slowly came back to life. Crews moved to shore up the slope the right way this time. Machines hummed in the rain. Clara and I walked to the small trailer by the edge of the site. The awning over the door kept most of the water off us. The air smelled like wet dirt and diesel. My hands were still shaking, but now it was not from fear or adrenaline. It was from the weight of everything that had just happened all at once. "You did not answer my calls," she said quietly. I looked at her. There was mud on her boots. Her hair was damp. Her eyes were steady. "I could not," I said. "If I had walked into that gala with you tonight, it would have made the audio look true. It would have looked like I did not care about any line at all. I would have hurt you worse." "So you stayed away and let them think the worst," she said. "I chose to be the bad guy for one night," I said, "to keep you from looking like you were in on something ugly. I chose you." She studied me for a long second. For once, she did not rush to speak. She just let the words sit between us. Then she reached into her tote bag and pulled out a folded set of papers. They were already a little wrinkled from the rain. "This is my disclosure," she said, "the one I showed them on the tablet. I printed it this morning before any of this happened. I planned to give it to you later. I wanted you to see that I picked you before the crash, before the email, before his little game. I took the papers. I read the first lines. She had put everything in clear words. That she worked with me, that I did not report to her, that she was asking for rules so we could do this right. You sent this 3 days ago, I said. Yes, she said. I did not want our story to start in a dark hallway with a rumor. I wanted it to start in the open. My throat tightened. You chose me before Simmons tried to twist it, I said. I chose you before the board ever heard that file, she answered. I chose you the moment you stood in my office and told me the slope was not safe. I chose you when you did not take his money. I chose you when you drove up that mountain with me instead of staying in the warm office. I swallowed hard. The rain hit the metal roof above us in a steady beat. The sound made a kind of private circle around us. She took a step closer. So I am going to ask you this once, she said. Do you want this? Not the drama, not the fight, not the story they will tell me. My chest hurt in that good sharp way, like something heavy inside. It was finally moving into a better place. Yes, I said. My voice came out low but sure. I want you. I want us. I also want to do it clean. No hiding, no games. She nodded once. Her shoulders dropped, like she let go of air she had held for days. Consent, she said. Say it out loud. I consent, I said, to this, to you, to us doing this with clear rules. If you ever want to stop, you have that power. If I ever feel something is wrong, I say it. No silence, no fear. Her eyes warmed. Good, she said. Then she reached up, took my collar with both hands, and pulled me down into a kiss. It was not some movie kiss with fireworks and loud music. It was slow, firm, honest. Her mouth was soft and sure against mine. Her hands were steady. She did not cling. She did not test. She met me like an equal. When we pulled back, she rested her forehead lightly against mine. We are doing this, she said. Yes, I said, we are. 2 weeks later, Emerald Ridge had its opening gala again. No Simmons this time, no storm. The main lodge glowed warm against the dark pines. The big windows spilled gold light onto the snow. Inside, the air smelled like cedar, good food and champagne instead of panic and carpet cleaner. I wore the same suit I had laid out that first night. It felt different now, not like a costume. Like armor I had earned. Clara walked into the lobby beside me. People turned to look. Some of them tried not to stare. Others whispered behind their glasses. She did not shrink. She did not slow down. She moved through the room like the resort belonged to her, because it did. You clean up well, she said under her breath. I feel like a penguin, I said, tugging at my tie. She smiled without looking at me. Get through the speeches, she said. Then we leave. Leave? I asked. Yes, she said, leaning closer. Her breath warmed my cheek. I have a craving for bad diner coffee and a drive where no one is taking notes on us. Quote, I laughed for the first time that night. Deal, I said. After the chairman finished his speech and cut the ribbon, after the last polite handshake, we slipped out a side door. The cold air on the porch felt clean. We drove down the mountain with the radio low and the heater turned up. The road lights slid past us, white and yellow stripes in the dark. At an overlook, she told me to pull over. The sky above was clear now. The town lights below looked small and far away. The engine ticked as it cooled. She turned toward me and took my hand. Her fingers were warm and dry. I have something for you, she said. She placed a small velvet box in my palm. My heart kicked hard. Clara, I said, staring at it. Relax, she said with a soft eye roll. Open it. Inside was not a ring. It was a key, simple, silver, smooth from use. This is not a proposal, she said. This is a key to my house in Denver and to the office at Emerald Ridge. So you stop waiting outside like a vendor when you are already part of it. I closed my fingers around the key. It felt cold and heavy at first, then started to warm against my skin. You do not have to use it, she added. I am not giving you pressure. I am giving you a choice. I am done living like every good thing in my life has to be approved by someone else first. I looked at her, at the steady line of her jaw, at the way she watched me without fear, at the woman who had risked her job to stand against a lie and had still walked through that gala like she did not owe anyone shame. I am not asking for permission, I said. I am accepting the responsibility. Her smile turned sharp and soft at the same time. Good, she said. She leaned in and kissed me once, quick and sure, then pulled back like she was daring me to keep up with her life. I can do that, I said. On the drive back to the city, I kept the key in my palm. By the time we saw the first lights of Denver, the metal was fully warm, like it had learned my hand. When we parked in front of her place, she looked over at me with that same calm, bright gaze she had the day she said she was tired of waiting. Last chance, she said. You can keep this as a symbol only, or you can really use it. I turned the key once in my fingers and smiled. I am not late this time, I said. I am right